everybody.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday. We're glad to be back with you for chapel again. We are almost to the end of the alphabet. We've gotten to the letter Y. So take a second and try to make a Y with your arms or your fingers or however you want to do it. You could do your arms way up in the sky, and then this part could be the trunk of your Y. Oh, Miss Heather's got her legs being all the way down the bottom part of the Y. It's harder to do with your fingers. You kind of have like the V for the top part, and then you put a finger underneath for the tree part of the Y, the trunk. All right, so we're going to do Y, and we have kind of an interesting word today. Last week we had a fun word too. If you remember, Miss Heather had that fancy word. I don't even know if I can say it.
It was ex nihilo.
Ex nihilo.
X or X.
But so that was out of nothing. If you remember, we had dark chapel for part of chapel last week.
That's right.
But today we're going to do a word, and it's yoke. And that might make you think of a couple of things. That might make you think of an egg.
I love eggs.
Yeah, I don't know if you had eggs for breakfast. I don't make eggs at my house. My people eat cereal. But we're not talking about that kind of a yoke. That's a different kind of yoke. We're talking about a yoke that's spelled Y-O-K-E. And I don't know how well you can see the picture.
See this right here.
But that wooden thing that is kind of between the two animals, that is called a yoke, because it ties the two animals together, and then it is attached to whatever cart or whatever the animals are going to be pulling. So it's kind of heavy and kind of burdensome. It kind of keeps the animals together so they can pull what they need to pull. So that is the kind of yoke. That's the yoke, Y-O-K-E, that we're talking about. So Miss Heather is going to tell us some more about what yoke means in the church world.
So just like Miss Sarah said, that yoke here with these bulls helps them work together. Jesus one time told the disciples that his yoke was easy and his burden was light, which meant that when his disciples worked with him and with each other, the things they were supposed to do would be easy to do. And so Miss Sarah and I actually have on these fancy things, and this is called a stole. S-T-O-L-E, stole. And a lot of times preachers wear these, and this is a symbol of a yoke. And so when you are serving God in the church, sometimes you see choir directors wear these. We let our seniors a lot of times wear these when they lead church on Youth Sunday.
This is my first time ever wearing one. I feel very important.
It looks good on her, doesn't it? She's wearing it well. But it's all about taking on the ministry that Jesus gives each of us, and we place it on our shoulders, just like the yoke here is on the shoulders of these animals, to remind us that when we work with Jesus and when we work together, the things that Jesus gives us to do, our ministry in the world, becomes easier when we work together. So Jesus says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light, which is pretty awesome to think about. So whenever you get to wear one of these at your church, it's a symbol for Jesus's ministry. That's why there's all these pictures. You see, we feed, and there's fish, because Jesus, remember the story of feeding 5,000? And there's wheat for bread, and there's a cross, and there's a symbol for the church. There's all kinds of neat symbols on these to remind us of the things we do with Jesus and with each other.
All right. Well, that's a good lesson. Thank you, Miss Heather.
Cool. Pretty cool.
So maybe when we're back together, we'll give you a chance to maybe pass one of these around. You can feel it, you can put it on and see what it feels like, okay? All right, well, we'll see you next week. Y'all have a good day.